Hey friends, today I've put together 4 of my favorite chicken recipes that are to die for. All ingredients and measurements are in the description box. The first recipe we're making is this delicious roasted garlic butter chicken and potatoes. We're using bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs for this recipe. Add a whole lot of minced garlic to the chicken, then season with some dried thyme, dried oregano, and onion powder. Next, add a handful of freshly chopped parsley, then squeeze in the juice of a whole lemon. Add some olive oil, then season with salt and black pepper to taste. Go ahead and mix everything together very well. Cover with a saran wrap, then let the chicken marinate in the fridge for at least 4 hours. While the chicken is marinating, cut up some potatoes and add to a mixing bowl. Slice up an onion and add to the potatoes. Add some olive oil, then season with salt and black pepper to taste. Mix everything together very well. Transfer the potatoes and onions into a large pan. Once your chicken has finished marinating, you're going to place them onto the potatoes and onion. We're going to add some slices of butter on top of each chicken. The butter is going to melt into the chicken and crisp up the outside. Make sure your oven is preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Place the chicken and potatoes into the oven to roast for an hour and 15 minutes. After about 50 minutes of roasting, if you notice the chicken is browning too quickly, you can lightly place a tin foil over the top to slow down the browning. And here is the final result. This will have your home smelling so good. The chicken came out so flavorful and juicy, and the potatoes are buttery soft. The next recipe on the menu is another chicken and potatoes recipe. This one is very creamy, buttery, and delicious. We're using bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. We're going to season the chicken with some paprika, some dried herbs, salt, and black pepper. Mix all the spices together very well, then season both sides of the chicken. Once the chicken is very well seasoned, we're going to sear them. So heat up some oil in a skillet over medium heat. Place the chicken thighs into the pan. Sear the chicken for 3 to 4 minutes on one side, then turn them over and sear them for another 3 to 4 minutes on the other side. We want the chicken to turn nice and golden brown. This is going to add so much flavor to the recipe. Once the chicken is seared, remove from the pan, then set aside for later. Keep in mind that the chicken is not fully cooked yet. Once the chicken is out of the pan, we're going to partially cook some gold potatoes. Make sure your gold potatoes are cut up into bite-sized pieces. Season the potatoes with a little bit of salt and black pepper, then cook on medium heat for about 8 minutes, stirring periodically. Make sure you place a lid over the potatoes when you're not stirring. While the potatoes are cooking, we're going to make the creamy sauce for the chicken and potatoes. Go ahead and melt some butter in a pan over medium heat, then throw in some minced onion. Cook the onion for about 4 minutes or until it turns golden brown. While you're cooking the onion, don't forget to stir your potatoes, that way they don't burn. Add some minced garlic to the onion and cook for about 30 seconds. Add some flour, then cook the flour for a few seconds just to kick out that raw flour taste, then pour in some chicken broth. Whisk everything together very well, then cook the sauce until it thickens just like this. Next, pour in some heavy cream and some whole milk. Quickly mix the cream and milk into the sauce. Once everything is mixed in, add some Parmesan cheese. We're also adding chicken bouillon cube. Go ahead and mix everything together. Then to freshen up the flavor, we're going to add some freshly chopped parsley. Mix everything together and allow the sauce to simmer gently for about 1 minute. That way all the flavors can come together. So we're all done with the sauce. We're going to go back to the potatoes. By this time, the potatoes have partially cooked. All we have to do is add the chicken thighs. Next, you're going to pour your creamy sauce all over the chicken and potatoes. Give the pan a little shake to make sure the sauce gets everywhere. Your oven should be preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Place the chicken and potatoes into the oven to bake for 35 to 40 minutes. This is what it looks like when it's done baking. The chicken and potatoes are so smothered in all of that creamy, delicious sauce. The chicken came out so tender, it falls right off the bone, and the potatoes are so soft and delicious. This meal just melts in your mouth. The next recipe we're making is this easy baked chicken thighs recipe. I make this recipe at least once a week. It's very simple. We're using bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs for this recipe. Make sure your chicken is very well patted dry because we're going to season them with some dry rub. In this bowl, I have some brown sugar, paprika, oregano, onion powder, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, salt, and black pepper. Mix all the spices together very well, then season the chicken on both sides. For maximum flavor, I like to lift and season under the skin. This extra step really gets the seasonings into the chicken. Make sure you do that with every single piece of chicken thigh, then turn them over and season the other side as well. Once the chicken is very well seasoned, you're going to set them aside. Then grab an oven-safe pan or a baking pan. I went ahead and sliced some onions. I'm going to place them into the pan. Then I'm going to top the onions with the seasoned chicken thighs. Next, I'm going to add a whole lot of crushed garlic. Just place them in between the chicken thighs. For some fresh flavor, we're going to add some fresh thyme. Place those in between the chicken as well. Last, I'm going to top each chicken thigh with some butter. The butter is going to melt into the chicken and give the skin a nice crisp to it. Make sure your oven is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Place the chicken into the oven to bake for 45 minutes. And this is what the chicken looks like when it's done. The sauce is so flavorful and delicious. The chicken came out very juicy and packed with flavor. Make sure you eat the chicken with the onions and garlic. They're so delicious together. The next recipe on the menu are these honey garlic chicken wings. These wings are so delicious. We're using some chicken wings for this recipe. Start by drizzling some olive oil all over the wings, then toss them together to coat. We're going to season the wings with some salt, black pepper, paprika, garlic powder, and onion powder. Mix the spices together very well, then add to the chicken. Mix everything together, then transfer the chicken onto a baking pan lined with aluminum foil. Make sure you space out the wings, that way they can crisp up very well. Your oven should be preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Place the wings into the oven and let them bake for 20 minutes. After the wings have baked for 20 minutes, you're going to take them out, then flip them. Place them back into the oven to bake for 10 minutes. While the wings are baking, we're going to put together the honey garlic sauce. Into an empty bowl, I'm adding some chicken broth, honey, soy sauce, rice vinegar, sesame oil, freshly minced garlic, freshly minced ginger, red pepper flakes. Last, we're adding cornstarch. Mix everything together very well, then pour the sauce into a pan over medium heat. You're going to let the sauce cook until it comes to a simmer. Then you're going to reduce the heat to medium-low and let the sauce simmer gently for 10 minutes to thicken. After the honey garlic sauce has finished cooking, you're going to take out your wings, then brush them with the sauce. Keep in mind that at this time, the wings have already baked for 30 minutes. Once you've brushed all the wings with the sauce, you're going to turn them over, then brush the other side as well. Place them back into the oven to bake for 5 more minutes. After 5 minutes, you're going to take out the wings, then brush only the top part with the remaining sauce. Then you're going to place them back into the oven to bake for another 5 minutes. So in total, we're baking the wings for 40 minutes. Here they are when they're all done baking. These honey garlic wings came out so delicious. I hope you guys try out any of these 4 chicken recipes. Don't forget to check the description box for all the ingredients and measurements.